This program for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose or prevent diseases, nor is it intended to place your primary purpose and statements in this program. Okay, let's go ahead and open up the doors to our live daily with Doc Zoom, folks. Thank you so much for joining us here today as we are letting people into the Zoom room. If you have questions for Dr. Wallach, make sure that you raise your hand early. That way, as we are going through the program, we can see how many people are here with questions, and we can try to allow extra time for the amount of people that have their hands up. My name is Becca Dukes. Thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc. Daily with Doc is a resource for an amazing community of people who are health-minded, but not only health-minded, they have a heart for others. That heart is so big that if somebody invited you here today, they cared enough to take the time to invite you to hear the message that we're going to be sharing today. Now, this program is for educational purposes only. It is not meant to take place of your primary care physician, nor is it intended to diagnose or cure any diseases, nor are the products mentioned on this program. But your body was divinely created that when given the right nutrients, the right ingredients, like making a cake, you guys have one or two things. You gotta have all ingredients so that your body can go from just surviving to thriving. We have with us a doctor who has been instrumental in saving the white rhino from extinction in South Africa, fighting the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis in a racing monkey, a disease said to be human and genetic, and he proved that neither of those were true. He also found the cause of liver cancer and bears around the world in the zoos. Not only that, he found the cause of muscular dystrophy. He found the cause of an infant crib death. And he believed so much in his findings that he fought the FDA 8 times with his attorney, John Eward, and prevailed to the point that the system forced the manufacturers of vitamins to put specific nutrients in those vitamins. Forced the baby formula manufacturers to put specific vitamins in their baby formula to prevent that sudden infant death syndrome. And with the prenatals, reduce or prevent birth defects. Folks, life, as we heard yesterday, starts before conception. And today we're going to kind of go towards what is commonly thought to be an issue at the end of life. And today we're going to be talking about cholesterol. So, hey, well, let's talk cholesterol, and I can't think of a better person to be here with us than the mineral doctor himself, Dr. Joel Wallach, with the Bachelor of Science in Plant and Soil Sciences. He is a doctor of veterinary medicine with 3 postdoctorates in pathology. Those 3 specific, what do you call them, doc? Expeditions. They're not expeditions, but those 3 specific research studies dealt with over 452 species, including over 1,700 humans. So he's got that under his belt. I don't know any other doctor that has that much in his boxes when it comes to looking at data firsthand, comparing that data as to what he's seeing in those slides and what is also present when it comes to disease or cause of death in those individuals, connecting the dots. And there were nutritional deficiencies, there were common diseases, breakdown in the body, causes of death in the animals and related to humans. Imagine that. So when he found that first case of cystic fibrosis, non-human disease, or not only human disease, is that in the greasy monkey, told him that he could create a whole, not only found the cause, but also the cure. They didn't like that because it was against the agenda. So he decided to go teach nutrition and naturopath at the college and then become a naturopathic physician himself. And just staying within the four walls of his clinics was not enough for him. He wanted to reach the world. He wanted to save the world. So now working on his 25th book, he is reaching around the world. He has one of the greatest lectures ever heard, most heard in the Dead Dog Alive lecture, which you can find on dailywithdoc.com or on our Critical Health News YouTube channels. And this book right here, Dead Doctors Die, with over 400 million copies sold of his audio tapes and CDs. And that's an old number. This one here says 350 million. I don't have the latest edition, but I know one of his editions is over 400 million. And this book right here, this was my book of hope, second to the Bible, because this book shared with me that all of those different poor health conditions I was told to be genetic, or I just have to live with, could actually be changed. And I didn't have to live with them. And I took his advice, and I don't live with them anymore. So folks, if you are looking for information to help yourself or help somebody that you know, go to drjwallach.com. That's drjwallach.com, and look up Dr. Wallach's books. You'll find all his publications there, and get information. Knowledge is powerful, folks, but it's only powerful if you implement the knowledge that you've learned, and you're going to learn more about implementing today. So as I mentioned, cholesterol, Dr. Wallach. Okay, so I'm going through looking up cholesterol, and you and I listened to a video this morning of an older gentleman saying the things that you have said for decades about cholesterol. And as I look at the National Library of Medicine, Dr. Wallach, and what they have to say about cholesterol, their story now is a little bit different than it was about 20 years ago, where they were demonizing it. So cholesterol is a lipophilic molecule that is essential for human life. It has many roles that contribute to normally functioning cells. For example, cholesterol is an important component of the cell membrane. It contributes to the structural makeup of the membrane as well as modulates its fluidity. Cholesterol functions as a precursor molecule in the synthesis of vitamin D, steroid hormones like cortisol, androsterol, and adrenal androgens, and sex hormones, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. Cholesterol is also a constitute of bile salt used in digestion to facilitate absorption of fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. So Dr. Wallach, cholesterol does a lot of great things within the body. It's essential. It's needed. I mean, without cholesterol, things aren't going to operate right. They demonize it, Dr. And welcome to the Doc.
Thank you. Well, you have to appreciate they started demonizing cholesterol. They knew nothing about it. And we go back to the turn of the 20th century. Cholesterol was one of the biggest enemies when they first discovered it. Oh my gosh. We found the cause of all diseases. It was cholesterol. And they came up with anti-cholesterol drugs and anti-cholesterol diets and all that kind of stuff. And they created more problems than they solved. Okay? Because you point out, cholesterol is enormous responsibility. It makes up like 95% of the sex hormones. 95% of the mass of estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. Okay, very important, obviously. And then that's why we have the zero test. Okay. And then also, the liver changes cholesterol into myelin, white matter in the brain and spinal cord. When you have trouble with myelin in the brain and spinal cord, you have disease. One that's really hot right now is Parkinson's disease. Oh gosh, for 20-something years, there's been 60,000 new cases a year of Parkinson's disease in America. 60,000 new cases a year. This last year went up by 50%, 90,000. Doctors are prescribing more anti-cholesterol drugs. The liver converts cholesterol into myelin. And myelin has so many functions in the brain and spinal cord. On our flip chart, you go to page 26, you go through, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 21. There's about 35 diseases of the neurological system, the brain, the spinal cord, and big nerves like ventricular nerve. Require a lot of cholesterol. Hey, you're in trouble. Now, the good news is after many years, one of our dear associates, Madeline O, the O is an initial last name. We don't want to give her full name, otherwise her house would be swamped by thousands of people. Okay, so Madeline O, she was diagnosed 12, 13, 15 years ago.
Well, 12 years ago.
12 years ago, Parkinson's disease. And she would go to see her doctor maybe once, twice, 3 times a year for 9, 11 years. Okay, and she was gradually getting worse and worse, which is a typical Parkinson's disease. It's like a little bit of time left here, so your family, all this. And the next time. So she goes in after one of her relatives got her going on our program, okay, for things like Parkinson's disease. And she, after 2.5 months on our program, okay, held in heart attack, or I-26, okay, so one of my favorites, the I-26 is chewels and pills and capsules and powder. Okay, it's raw material. Your brain make myelin, your spinal cord make myelin, okay, your nerves make myelin. And the liver converts cholesterol into myelin. It goes through the bloodstream into the brain and the spinal cord and so forth. It's one of those miracles Lord bless us with, okay? So if you're eating all the right stuff, you can convert stuff you don't have to stuff you need and so forth. And this has been going on since we had time. Okay, very, very simple stuff. Well, on page 27 of flip chart, the right hand half, okay, there's little notes from Madeline telling how she got rid of the Parkinson's disease, and telling how she got rid of the Parkinson's disease after 11, 12 years. Okay, and seeing these doctors, these are medical school doctors. These are not just, backyard people talking about this is big stuff. And then her comments are in yellow, okay, I think. And then on the left-hand side of the page, there's several letters, which are a combination of Madeline's comments and the doctor's comments. Now, this will do great things for you in your community your family, your church, your neighbors, your workmates, because typically doctors say there's nothing new about it. It's a genetic thing, and you just have to treat the symptoms, which cause your gradually to get worse and worse and worse. And of course, in the lower right-hand corner of that page 27, it gives you the amount of money that's spent on each of these diseases that are caused by a cholesterol deficiency. Okay. See here, Alzheimer's disease, each year in America, we spend $345 billion just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure. Let's see here. Let's see here. We also get frontal temporal dementia, which is kind of like dementia. Okay, that's a new form of it. Right now, it's at $7.28 billion a year. And then MS, multiple sclerosis, we're spending $85 billion a year. Okay, that's Guillain-Barré syndrome also. See, Parkinson's disease, 52 billion. ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, aka Lou Gehrig's disease, 1.02 billion. Just the cost of those few diseases, cholesterol deficient diseases, each year in America, we spend $490.3 billion a year. Now, it gets worse, okay? Because it's one of those things where when you look at the bigger picture, the cost, okay? The cost of these cholesterol diseases. Let's see if I can get the right page here. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Alzheimer's disease, we spend $345 billion a year just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure it. Arthritis, which is not a cholesterol deficiency disease, we spend $626.8 billion a year in America just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent it or cure it. This is crazy when you think about it. Okay, so I urge you to get a hold of this information. If you're not already in the longevity program, get a hold of your neighbor or contact us. If you don't know anybody who's involved, contact us. Rebecca will give out numbers and so forth for you real quick here. And you can prevent these diseases. You can reverse these diseases, save an enormous amount of unnecessary misery, add many healthy years to your life, and save an enormous amount of money. So, Rebecca, how do people get a hold of this information?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. And yes, you can get a hold of this information, one, by getting with the person that shared this program with you. And if nobody shared this program with you, we do have an amazing team available to assist you by calling 855-949-3377. Or if you prefer to reach out to us and would like information or have questions. So if you have questions, do questions@dailywithdoc.com. Or you can go to our website, dailywithdoc.com, and use that contact option to get in touch with us. So we're here to help those who are looking to help themselves. And for those that want to be even greater than themselves and help their communities, we're here for you as well. So we want to help Dr. Wallach in this crusade to not just save humanity, but save the world. And I love the fact, Dr. Wallach, that the information, the research, and the solutions, they apply across the board.
It's true. Absolutely true. Yeah, across the board, all peoples are involved. And we're talking about Asia, Europe, United States, and Canada. And it's one of those things where we have the knowledge, we have the tools, but if people have health insurance, they just go to their doctor and throw the health insurance card at them and just take whatever the doctor gives them. And the doctor is pretty good about giving programs to relieve discomfort and symptoms, but they miss preventing and curing these diseases by a million miles.
Well, they haven't been taught it, Dr. Wallach. I know a lot of doctors, they go into the field because they want to help people.
That's true.
But they don't know what they don't know. And that's one thing that I'm hoping that more and more healthcare professionals will listen and just see the common sense that when the body's not getting what it needs, it's going to start breaking down. But you can give the body what it needs, and the body is able to maintain or regain.
Yeah. Now, I'll tell you a great story. I've been working on this for a while, and you and I had a short conversation this morning about it. And that is, let's see here, people all over the world, they have problems, okay, with their central nervous system, their brain and spinal cord and all that kind of stuff, their immunity and so on. And you go back to the old Bible, and I always ask the question, when did people know what to do to help people live a long time?
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to the beginning. And in the beginning, when you look at the old Bible, it said the people who lived the longest did what? The people who lived the longest,
They lived in the land flowing with milk and honey.
milk and honey. And everybody thinks, oh, there's a bunch of cows there. Well, when they got to those places, there were no cows and people milking the cows and stuff like that. They were talking about glacial milk. And I'm going to write a paper on that. I've been studying that and getting all the details. And I actually found some great pictures of glacial milk today coming out of the mountains, out of the forest and everything. These streams where the glaciers are grinding up the rocks up on top of the mountains, okay, and these are ash rocks, from the
From the volcanoes?
from the volcanoes, yeah. And so the grinding up these volcanic ash and the powder getting into these streams coming down. So when the Hebrews came to these places, here's this looks like milk coming down the mountains. It's glacial milk. It's not cow's milk. And I was able to confirm that again and again and again and again. And so this is going to be a great, great, great story. We're putting it together. So within a month or so, it'll be another one of our great stories. That the glacial milk, okay, that provided, it's written up in 3 or 4 chapters of the Old Testament about the good life and long life and healthy life go to the people who live in the land flowing with milk and honey. Everybody thinks, oh, it's cow's milk. No, it's
No.
glacial milk. And
Well,
then and
in junior high science, we learn about, no, not even before junior high, we learn about erosion and what water does. So as it's coming down the mountains and it's eroding different things, it's putting those minerals into the water.
well, there you go.
So makes sense. And it's, Dr. Wallach, it's simple. It's just, I think society and media and everything has made it sound so difficult to be able to maintain health, other than simply taking a pill to mask the symptoms, which I just want to do a quick little shout out and hello to pharmacist Ben, who I just saw jumped on and is here with us today. So it's frustrating. I want to say it's crazy, but no, it's not just crazy. It's frustrating that people are looking for a simple fix to mask symptoms rather than looking at what they're putting in their mouths and what their body actually needs.
Yeah, well, see, they knew back in the old Bible because people were asked, why do some people live so long? I say, well, people who live a long time come from the land flowing with milk and honey. Over and over and over, they say that in the Bible. They knew there was some attachment to the land flowing with milk and honey, but they didn't make the connection that milk was glacial milk. They were thinking, everybody's saying, oh, it's cow's milk, goat's milk, camel milk. No, it was glacial milk with all the minerals in it. That's what made people live to be 200, 300, and so forth.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Wallach, there's so many people that have benefited from your research and what you have shared and the formulas that have been put together by yourself and your team, that being one of those people and bouncing back like I never thought was absolutely possible, I have to share this message.
Yeah, you have a great personal story. You'd be one of the stories in the Old Testament if you were alive back then with your story. Okay.
Well, and I'm not the only one. So Joe is a longtime listener to George Norrie, and he found you listening to George. His ex was on keto. He tried it. He didn't completely believe you back then. And how was he wrong? He's admitting now. So, Joe, so glad you were able to see the light. And so see, Testa, he has shared that um, he used to burn rice with ghee butter and put the ashes in the soil under his orange tree, and the oranges were bigger and better. So when you burn something, you've got the ash left, which you talk about adding the wood ashes from the stove and the cook stoves into the garden. So what's left after the ashes, that's just pure minerals and carbon, right?
Yeah, minerals and carbon, and it varied depending on the location. In some places, okay, like where there was mountains and glaciers and volcanoes, they had more minerals than the desert where they never had any rain or anything like that. And they might only have 3 minerals, whereas the glaciers might have 90 minerals.
Right. So, yeah, it's amazing, Dr. Wallach, what we have learned because of you. And we greatly appreciate all that you've done. John is saying he appreciates all the great information that we provide. He has most of your books and quote him all the time to those who will listen, which are many. So that's absolutely fantastic. Dr. Wallach, we have hands that are up, so we want to make sure that we do get to the questions. But one question that I wanted to address when we're talking about cholesterol, Dr. Wallach, there is good cholesterol and there is not so great cholesterol. That not so great cholesterol is coming from bottled oils, fried foods, sugar. Am I missing something?
No, you're exactly right. The fried food. So you can have the best 1 billion% wonderful cholesterol. But if you fry it, you turn it into a suicidal product. Okay,
So when
you cannot fry or overheat cholesterol. You just can't. If you do, you're turning it into something very dangerous, just like fat. You fry fat, you get cancer. You fry fat, you get all kinds of terrible diseases. Okay, you fry cholesterol, you get terrible diseases. But if you eat it properly, just sort of medium rare kind of thing is safe. But when you get fried and you're really crunchy French fries and fried chicken and fried fish and fried vegetables and all that kind of stuff, fried rice and fried eggs. There's a lot of cholesterol in there. We have our eggs soft scrambled in butter.
So you want to cook all your food on low temperatures
That's
and try
correct.
to resist having that sizzle in the cooking process, right? Because it's
Absolutely.
those high temperatures are what's converting those good molecules into the bad molecules
That is correct.
that are harmful in the body. And then sugar, Dr. Wallach. Sugar, in my research, has been found to be one of the causes of bad cholesterol also.
Yeah, and of course, when you look at sugar in all its manifestations, 34% of adult Americans have, let's see, what is it?
Diabetes.
Well, they have diabetes. They got more than that have diabetes. But we're talking about the metabolic syndrome.
I was just going to say that was going to be my next guess, metabolic syndrome.
Yeah,
I heard somebody whisper. How
yeah,
is that
metabolic
possible?
syndrome. Okay, and of course, when you have the metabolic syndrome, you're talking about abdominal obesity. You're talking about diabetes, high blood pressure, liver problems. There goes that connection with the cholesterol because of the liver problems.
Mm-hmm.
You have thyroid issues, and you have all kinds of stuff going on with the bone marrow and your immune system, white blood cells, antibodies, all that kind of stuff. And so you were doing the yeoman's work. You're doing a masterful job of working on that book. the metabolic syndrome. So it's supposed to be available here in a couple of weeks. We're very excited about that. It's going to be a great companion with the book It's All in Your Head. Those two books together are going to improve humanity by 1,000,000%. Very, very, very proud of that. And so we can't thank you enough for all the great work you're doing to manifest it.
Well, that's our goal, Dr. Wallach, is to get information in the hands of the people in a way that it's easy to understand, and not just easy to understand, but actually take action on. Now, since we're on this topic, Dr. Wallach, with cholesterol and how that cholesterol is needed for the myelin sheath, and you mentioned about how it protects the brain. Brett out on YouTube has a family member with early onset Alzheimer. What can they recommend for her, to her husband, to give her? So it is a female with Alzheimer's. Let's just go by 100 pounds, Dr. Wallach. What would you recommend for somebody who is dealing with an early onset of Alzheimer's?
Okay. Number one, they really need to get this flip chart, because the first half of the flip chart deals with myelin disease, myelin deficiency diseases, and so forth. Anyway, need to get rid of all the bad foods: no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And then say per 100 pounds of body weight, I throw in 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. If they only weigh 120 pounds, it'd be a half a dose of everything twice a day. If they weigh 150 pounds, they need 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, or a full dose twice a day. Okay. Then you also need the I-26. At 100 pounds, I would have her take 2 or 3 of the I-26. We have the chewables. I like the French vanilla chewables. I take 2 or 3 of those twice a day. And it helps maintain, repair, and rebuild the myelin sheath in the brain and the spinal cord and the large nerves. Okay, very, very useful. Also needs the, excuse me, the, let's see here, I'd go with the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 of those twice a day, be 2 bottles a month. And that's to get the blood supply into the heart, into the brain, into the kidneys, so the kidneys can do their job, getting rid of the bad stuff in urine. Okay, and of course the nutrients also are good for the bone marrow to make white blood cells, red blood cells, because anemia, when you get the metabolic syndrome, you get all kinds of stuff going on, including, of course, the obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, all kinds of, maybe 6, 8, 10, 12 other diseases. You're going to all these specialists and you're on 18 prescriptions, and they can get rid of some symptoms. They can reduce the symptoms. In some cases, they can get rid of the symptoms for a couple of months or a year. But the end is, which I say, predictable, because just, if you have something going on in your brain and you're just taking an aspirin to reduce the pain, it's not going to fix it. You might be comfortable for a couple of months or a year, but then the end comes quickly. Okay.
Yes. Well, Dr. Wallach, I have a client in Arizona who has early onset of Alzheimer's, and his wife has been giving him the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, the I-26, the Ultimate Daily Classic, and also the Renew IQ. And he goes to a day program every day, and she got a report back from them that they can't believe how much better his cognitive thinking and functionality and interacting with people has been. And it's consistent. They
Yes.
say that he's getting better. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. And just having that opportunity to be able to feed the brain, feed the individual, and making sure that they're getting those raw ingredients needed is absolutely fantastic. The Renew IQ actually has adaptogens that help in meeting people where they're at and helping with that cognitive thinking as well. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Well, let's
Again, when you're on that subject, I just want to remind people they need to look at the Parkinson's disease segment in the flip chart on page 27. Okay.
Yep.
And look, it tells you the, which I say, what Madeline went through, okay, for 11 years. And in just
Yeah, so
2.5 months, we eliminated all. She's perfectly normal. Freaked the
yeah.
doctor out. They had to rerun all the tests the next day. They couldn't believe that she was perfectly normal after
Well,
11 years of getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
yeah, and she absolutely loves her coach, and which, folks, if you're in one of the modalities of helping people in a more natural way, the longevity products are a beautiful, beautiful marriage in helping you help people even more than what you're doing, because they work with these different programs and supporting the body so that what you're doing, like a chiropractor, massage, when the body is nutrified, it's going to respond better to the work that you're doing on the body. So that was one thing that I experienced, Dr. Wallach, because I would go to the chiropractor, I'd get an adjustment, and I wouldn't even get out to my car, and I'd have to go back in to get another adjustment because I'd already slipped out of adjustment. And it's because all of my muscles and connective tissue were not able to support my body. And once I got the nutrients on board and I got the glucogel on there, the MSM, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Osteo FX, and the EFAs, I was able to go in, get an adjustment. He wouldn't see me for several months or years. But I'd still call him just to see how he was doing. But it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And folks, you have the power to feel it yourself. So get back as a person that shared this program with you. And again, if there's no one to thank, 855-949-3377. So first, let's go to AJ, who has his hand up. AJ, go ahead and unmute yourself. What questions do you have for Doc today?
Happy Thursday, Doc.
Hey, Jay, what's going on, sir?
I got a couple questions that people emailed in at questions@dailywithdoc.com. And the first one is Teresa, who's 68 years old and 5'4" and 140 pounds. She just lost some weight. She's off of gluten now and the bad foods. And for 40 days, she's been taking the BTT and the Osteo FX and the I-26. And she has a severe case of spinal stenosis and osteoporosis and numbness in her toes and a left foot drop. In the last 2 months, she's had some significant constipation. She's had a full colon scan. Everything's good. A few small internal hemorrhoids, and she's not in any pain, but she's really concerned about this constipation. What may she be able to do?
Okay, I would have her add one more thing to her program to relieve this constipation. She needs our Rebound, our sports drink, Rebound. And I get so many compliments from people saying, I was suffering from constipation for years. I had to, treat this way, treat that way, get enemas, professional enemas, and all this kind of stuff. But once I started with the Rebound, because I was exercising, I got on the Rebound, and I just used the powder, in a glass of water, and I started getting 2 bowel movements a day now, and it's just wonderful. And I can't thank you enough for that Rebound. But it was meant for the energy of athletes without the carbonation. Although we do have the cans with carbonation in the Rebound, I personally don't use the can with the carbonation. I use the powder, but we have 3 of them, so you can have your choice which one you want. And so this is easily dealt with. And again, I would try the Rebound. And I get people say, I get 1 bowel movement a week if I'm lucky. And they start taking the Rebound, and in 2 days' time, they're having 2 bowel movements a day.
Okay.
Would enzymes also be beneficial for this, Dr. Wallach?
Enzymes, of course, are essential to break down the structure of food you're eating so you can absorb it. You have to break it down to their simplest components. You can't absorb a steak in the form of a steak. You got to chew it into little pieces, and then in the stomach with the acid and the enzymes, get that down into a soup, okay, made out of the cells. And so it's one of those things where you just can't eat something and expect everything to happen. You got to make sure you're getting all the raw materials for all the systems to work. I just cannot thank the good Lord enough. Just think about all the systems that the good Lord put into us. Our neurological system, our blood system, you know, heart and blood. Just think about our bone system and our muscles, and think about the digestive system. I mean, all the different systems and with all the different chemicals and biochemicals and hormones and all this stuff. We're a very complicated piece of equipment here. And I don't think anybody but the good Lord could put us together. So we thank the good Lord, and we just want to make sure that everybody does what they're supposed to do.
Doc, before I move to the next question, would the herbal rainforest help clear her out?
Okay, yeah, herbal rainforest is a good one. I use that, you know, like on the weekends. It detoxifies, and it also helps. It's got 15 herbs in it, and it's got about 75 minerals in there. Herbal rainforest. It's one of the great products to help. It helps all the other nutrients work. It helps all the other nutrients work. It's a good sort of background or support for all these other nutrients. And when people say, well, I took this for 3 weeks, it didn't work. Okay, well, add the rebound or herbal rainforest to it. And sure enough, herbal rainforest gets everything going.
Fantastic. So, Mindy, another question from questions@dailywithdoc.com mentioned that she had an incisional hernia, and they placed a mesh in her stomach. Now the stomach lining is very weak, and her stomach has a bulge, along with her feeling that she's a bit obese. She's a female at 50 years old and weighing 220 pounds, but she didn't put her height, and she's wondering what she can do.
Okay. Well, let's see here. This is something that Rebecca went through. She was 225 pounds when she came to us. Okay. And she's lost over 100 pounds. And so she just
268, Dr. Wallach.
you weigh 200 what?
68.
268. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. And so you want to tell this gal what you did?
Well, the first thing that I did was I got on the 90 essential nutrients. I got on the pig pack, actually, because I had that connective tissue that was breaking down. And whenever you have a hernia, it's because of a breakdown of connective tissue. So I started with the Pig Pack Plus, Dr. Wallach, which would be also, you've got the bone and joint pack with extra glucogel, and make sure that you get the extra plant-derived minerals also. So once I started getting those nutrients, those minerals into the body, my body just started releasing the weight because it was no longer in a starvation mode. And then I learned about the good foods, bad foods list. And it just started to come off even more. So it's not difficult.
And now you're a cover girl.
I don't know about that.
Got that right.
You guys are too sweet.
Well, thank you very much, Doc.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you, AJ. Now let's go over to my friend Zach. Zach, go ahead and unmute yourself. If you want to get on camera, you're more than welcome to.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Like always, thank you for everything you guys. You guys are safe lives. That's what it is. Thank you. Dr.
You're welcome.
Wallach,
Yes, sir.
Female, 47-year-old, 146 pounds, 5'4" in height. She's had wonderful results for the past 7 years with supplements. Her current issue is she was diagnosed with a left ovarian cyst, which has a solid irregular mass that measures 2.3 centimeters. What program would you recommend? And that it's a solid mass, Dr. Wallach. It says here, solid irregular mass within the cyst appearing vascular. And the impression is that they're concerned that it could be malignant. Your insight, Dr. Wallach, she loves and appreciates everything you do. She just doesn't want to come on camera.
Okay, that's fine. But they haven't determined whether or not it's a malignancy or not.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing, she needs to sit down and make a list and make sure that she's getting rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Everybody in the household has to avoid all that. So there's no cross contamination on the couch and the laundry and all that kind of stuff. Okay. And then she's been taking these nutrients for a long time, but 146 pounds. I'd have her take 2 of the Healthy Brain and Heart Packs a month, full of thing twice a day. I'd also have her take the, let's see here. I'd go with the I-26 to support her immune system. Okay. She could go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day. And I go through 2 bottles a month to do that myself. Okay. And also, it wouldn't hurt to, again, take the herbal rainforest. Take 2 doses a day. Take 2 ounces. I take a dose at breakfast. Okay, with the OsteoFX. I take it again at dinner time with OsteoFX. A couple other things, and I just love that OsteoFX. I just love that herbal rainforest. This is just a great way to get minerals. 75 minerals. If you want more, you could just get our plant-derived minerals, which has 95 to 100, depending on what of our 8 mines that one came out of. And it's one of those things where you give your body the right raw materials and stay away from the bad stuff. Your body, designed by the good Lord, does magic. It will do all this stuff. And, just think about it. When you're somebody who's 165 pounds overweight, like Rebecca was, the first thing the doctors want to do is surgery and all that kind of stuff to remove half of this and half of that. And, it's just all kinds of surgery. And, oh, you can lose 25 pounds. We'll just remove half your liver, all that kind of stuff, right? Okay. But you have to teach the body the correct route. You have to give the body the correct raw materials to function properly. And stay away at all costs, stay away from the bad foods, because you will really, really, really damage yourself and shorten your life. It'll be miserable. And instead of living, we have the capacity, all human beings have the capacity to live to be 145. The only ones that come close to that are the Hunzas from the Himalayan mountains. They have an average lifespan of 120. We have an average lifespan of let's see here, 74 to 77, depending on whose numbers you look at in America. And also in America, we rank 47th in the world when it comes to longevity. We rank 47th in the world. Okay, there's 53 other countries whose peoples live longer than us. Now, the Hunzas who live to be 120, they don't have a single medical doctor. But they are getting all this ash from the mountains, okay? They're getting all this glacial milk, okay? Just like from the old Bible. The people who live the longest are the ones who consume what?
The glacial milk? The water?
Well, we call it glacial milk, but they just said they're getting milk and honey, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they're the people who consumed milk and honey. And it wasn't just milk, it was glacial milk. Okay. And they didn't realize they were getting all those minerals in that white water coming down the mountains and the glaciers and the volcanoes. And they irrigated their soil with it. They irrigated their farms and plants. They drank it. They cooked with it. And so forth. And it was very clear over and over and over, time after time in the old Bible, people would say, and the people who lived the longest were the ones who consumed the um, milk and honey. Okay, milk and honey.
All
If-
right.
Can,
Thank you, Zach.
can I just ask one quick, it's not another question. All it is, Dr. Wallach, um, our immune system is our best friend. I've always heard you say that. Fucoidan from Z Radical and the antioxidants of the BTT, the 160,000 for 4 tablets, would that also support her even in the worst case scenario if it is malignant?
Well, I don't have enough experience with that product and malignancy, so I couldn't answer the question you're asking me in the way you're asking me. Okay,
Okay.
we can support her immune system, but we can't, ensure you that that's going to be directly responsible for helping her with that.
May I
Thank you,
add
Doc.
that
Yes, please.
if you go to pubmed.gov and research fucoidan and cancer, there is a lot of studies supporting its use.
Thank you, Becca. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
All
Becca.
right. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Doc. Let's go right over to Keely. Go ahead and unmute yourself. And if you'd like to come on camera, you're more than welcome to do so.
Hello, everybody. How are you today?
Hi, Keely.
Okay. I have, Keely. I have a couple. The first one's sort of easy. I just met this young girl, 19 years old, has Crohn's disease. She has a colonoscopy. I asked her if she was willing to do something different because they want her to have a permanent bag. And she says, I want to do whatever I need to do in order to get off of this. 19 years old, 150 pounds, 5'8".
Okay. Well, needs to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. 150 pounds, she needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, full dose everything twice a day. And she also needs the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 of those twice a day for blood circulation into the brain and the heart, the liver, the kidneys, and make everything there work properly. Okay. And let's see here. Wouldn't hurt also for her to use the rebound. Remember, no carbonated drinks, no soft drinks that are just for energy. No, don't do that. You want to use a rebound or a sports drink with that. And I guess, again, her age, she should see wonderful things happening, okay? But she should check and see if she has low blood sugar diabetes. She should get a hair analysis to see if she's absorbing. If she's not absorbing, okay, again, she needs to get rid of all the bad foods so that she can absorb. And then she needs to be taking the digestive enzyme, add the digestive enzymes, take 2 or 3 of those, say 10 minutes before her meals. So they're waiting down in the stomach for the food to come. But got to get rid of all the bad stuff so that she can absorb the nutrients.
Okay. The other one's a little bit more complicated. This is an individual, 64 years old, 5'11", 200 pounds. He actually went in for a colonoscopy and they induced a bacteria into him and ended up with nectar-eating fasciitis, which is basically flesh-eating bacteria. He felt it go to his shoulder. 3 days later, it manifested in that arm. He ended up having his arm cut off at the collarbone. And obviously they triple dosed and quadruple dosed him on antibiotics, which have really left him quite ill in the gut. Very healthy otherwise, but that's basically what has happened. He was going to an Ayurvedic doctor, which basically kept him pretty much above ground, but the Ayurvedic doctor passed away, and now he's looking for all recommendations that he can get because he can't get the minerals that he was getting from them.
Okay, well, we can provide him with wonderful minerals. Okay, 200 pounds. Needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. Needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose of thing twice a day. He needs 2 bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 twice a day or 3 times a day. He might be able to get 3 times a day. get the circulation in everywhere. He needs the I-26 for the brain and the spinal cord and the large nerves. And he needs the ultimate enzymes. Take 2 or 3 of those, say 10 minutes before each meal. And that'll help him with the digestion piece. He should also be taking the colloidal silver, our dropper bottle of colloidal silver. Take 2 droppers full under his tongue, say 5 or 10 minutes before each meal. Put one of the droppers full under the right side of the tongue, with the other one on the left side of the tongue. And then before bedtime, I go through a couple of bottles of that dropper. Let's see, it's the colloidal silver. Okay. I take 2 of those bottles a month to get through all that. Okay. And it's one of those things where it's been used for thousands of years. Now, colloidal silver kills all bacteria, viruses, fungus, and yeast. Penicillin only kills streptococcus and staphylococcus. It doesn't kill all bacteria. Our colloidal silver kills all bacteria. Okay. It tastes like water, looks like water, smells like water. So it's not like you're taking anything that's sour or tastes bad. And so it just tastes like you're just squirting water in your mouth. But it's one of those things where they learned about that during the days of the plagues, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago. The people who dealt with colloidal silver survived, and the people who did not deal with colloidal silver died. And so this is one of the reasons why we have it. So you don't have to worry about a prescription for penicillin for something. I mean, I see literally some days 1,000 people a day. Most days I see a couple of 100 people a day, and they want to hug you and kiss you and shake your hands and all that kind of stuff. And I haven't been sick with an infection in 75 years. Why? Because I've been taking my 90 essential nutrients, plus all the secret sauces. I take most of the secret sauces, even though I don't have any problem. I still take the secret sauces with all the other minerals and vitamins and so forth. And then I also take the colloidal silver. And so when you do all the right stuff, you're blessed. Okay, now in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be turning 85. Okay, most people think I'm 50 when they look at me. And so you too can look, what should I say, 25, 30, 40, 50 years younger than you actually are. And I work 20 hours a day, especially when I get on with George Norrie and stuff like that, where I'm online at night and so forth. It's really great stuff. And so I cannot thank our team. And of course, Rebecca's been a great team. Of course, Dr. Milan's part of the great team, and Steve Wallach, and I can go on and on and on and on. Of course, our crew here, for Daily with Doc, I can't thank them enough.
So Dr. Wallach, he's gone through a lot of antibiotics that kills off the good bacteria, the bad bacteria. We need that good bacteria in our digestive system. So what about the nightly essence, which I know is one of the favorites of pharmacist Ben's, taking 2 at bedtime and helping to reestablish that good flora in the digestive system?
Yeah, well, it can't hurt to take it, but also they need to be sure to be taking that colloidal silver.
Right. But I know Dr. Wallach, after fixing my gut and doing the nightly essence, because everything had been killed off, it was night and day difference in how I felt. So I absolutely love that nightly essence. Again, that would be 2 at bedtime.
Thank you
Dr.
for sharing.
No,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Keely, for bringing some great questions and just having a heart to help others. So we need
Thank
more
you.
and more like you, and we welcome you.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Wallach, we've got 3 minutes. Time for another question.
Let's go quick.
All right, let's go to Fam Herrera. Go ahead and unmute yourself if you would, please. Oh, I unmuted the wrong person. I'm sorry. One moment. Fam Herrera, can you unmute yourself?
Hello.
So let's go ahead and go with, is it Adame?
She said she have problem with the phone. She's my daughter. She had a question, but and But the question, it's two questions. My first question is, my wife, she's been with rheumatoid arthritis for more than almost 40 years. And she started taking the products like 7 years ago. And she's been feeling very good. But the only thing she is worried because her feet on the ankles, they getting red and sore. Is Dr. Wallach, if you can recommend something else, because she's been taking pig pack and bone and joint and, you know, almost almost all the products. And she's been taking a lot of products.
Okay,
But,
well, she can add, we only have a moment here, so she should add the CM cream to her ankles to relieve the inflammation. But she needs maybe some vitamin D3 if she's not getting out in her bikini and out in the sun for a couple hours a day. So she may need our vitamin D3 so she can absorb more of those minerals and put them in the right place. Try that if she's taking everything else, but our vitamin D3 is a great product. And I take 3 of those a day myself. I take one at breakfast, one at lunch, and one at dinner time. And
okay,
okay,
so
do you have another one quick?
we've been using the CM cream. So she needs to take the vitamin D3,
Both.
both, okay.
Okay.
How about MSM Ultra, Doc?
Oh yeah, MSM. Well, you know, I take that. That's a big one. I take 3 of those a day. The MSM. That's in addition to the glucogel and all the other stuff we take for collagen and so forth. Because collagen is in the skin, it's in cartilage, it's in tendons and ligaments and connective tissue. It's in everything. And so yeah, thank you.
Yeah, she's taking collagen too.
Yep.
So
okay.
I appreciate for answer that question. My daughter, she has another question, but I don't know if she's on my phone. I don't know if you can she make the question?
So Doc actually has another appointment that he has to get to. So we do apologize. It's top of the hour and he has to get going. So
Call tomorrow.
Call tomorrow or send us questions at dailywithdoc.com and we'll make sure that we get the answers for you. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you, Becca. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, team.
and you have just a fabulous rest of the day, Dr. Wallach. We will see you next week. And if I could just get my team up on the screen with me, I'd greatly appreciate it. I could not do this without my team. So we have Marilyn, who, if you are here live with us, you will see that she is putting a lot of information into that chat as she is doing dictation and putting it in so that people can actually take a screenshot or a picture of it with their camera and then take it to the person that shared this program with them. Or if they're not working with anybody, you know, give the team a call at 855-949-3377 and say, hey, this is what Doc recommended for myself or somebody who has symptoms similar to me. And Marilyn makes it easy for us in making sure that that information's in the chat. So thank you so much, Marilyn. Appreciate you. We have Sherry. She's part of the tech crew and making sure that the streams get up and the information is in the different platforms, and she keeps an eye on the platforms, brings questions in. Thank you so much, Sherry. We have Albert way down in South Africa who's helping to let people in and keeping an eye on cameras to make sure that it's a safe place for everybody to be. So we appreciate that as well. And we have AJ, who is very instrumental in getting us out on all these different platforms, including Apple TV and Roku TV, Spotify, Rumble, Brighteon, Patreon, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook. The list goes on and on. iHeart, Amazon Music, Simplecast, Riverside FM, Castbox, Google Podcast, Instagram, LinkedIn, all these different places. And I know I missed a few. So thank you, AJ, for helping us get this message out where people are. Now, if we did not get to your question, make sure to use questions at dailywithdoc.com. We want to make sure that we get people the information that they need in order to take that rough road of health, make a U-turn, because yes, U-turns are allowed. And when you give the body what it absolutely is starving for, it can do some amazing, amazing things. So folks, thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes. As the hostess of this program, it is my honor and privilege to be able to provide a resource to you and to our community. Now, if you've ever thought of becoming a certified holistic health coach or just having the information on looking at the 4 areas of health, how they're affected by nutritional deficiencies, and then using solutions that work to fill those gaps where those nutritional deficiencies exist so that you can help yourself and others have a more thriving life, we welcome you to take a look at the Institute of Holistic Health, their health coach course, by going to Coach with Doc. That's coachwithdoc.com to get more information about our coaching program. And you can sign up there as well. Use the discount code SAVE50, capital letters, SAVE 50. And we have the special going on this month, so hurry. We don't know if it's going to be going on through June or what June will provide, but go to coachwithdoc.com, get signed up today, and join us in this crusade to save the world. So folks, we start with ourselves. When people see the difference in us, they start asking questions. Then we have those answers, those solutions that we're able to help those around us. And as you're helping people in your community, I'm helping people in my community, Marilyn in hers, Albert in his, Sherry in hers, and you in yours, AJ in his as well, and you in yours. Together, we can make a stronger world. So until next time, thank you so much again for joining us here on Daily with Doc. You can find replays on our website, dailywithdoc.com. You can also find the good foods, bad foods list, and also replays of our past programming. That's dailywithdoc.com. Bye for now. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.